guys, it's your Ms. Dogwood Queen, Savannah Torres, and today I just want to take a few minutes to talk with you about my platform and something I'm passionate about and that I spend my free time doing before quarantine, of course. This part of my platform is kind of on hold that I'm going to talk to you about, but hopefully it's going to get going again here soon. So for those of you that do not know, I volunteer at the Charlotte Douglas International Airport, and I am a member of the canine crew there. And that is a pet therapy team that is sponsored by the airport. And I go there with my dog Sunday, and we work in the terminal upstairs. We greet passengers, crew, people that work in the airport. So we're up in the terminal doing those things in the busiest part of the airport. We also have the unique opportunity to be able to visit the USO Lounge, which is upstairs in the airport and is for active duty and former and active duty military that can go there and just relax during their layovers. If they have kids, they have snacks and things for them to play with. So we love to get to go up to the USO Lounge. And that's just kind of a special thing that we get to do, because to get to the terminal upstairs in the airport, you have to have a clearance badge for TSA, and that is a very lengthy process to go through. You have to send in all kinds of paperwork, fingerprints, background checks. They don't give just anyone a badge to get through security. So that's something that we had to go through to be able to work there. And so when you think about the USO Lounge being in the airport, not just anyone can go there and volunteer. So it's really kind of built into what we do that we have the freedom to go up to the lounge when we want to. And the people that work in the USO are great. They're always super welcoming to the dogs and the handlers. And the kids in the lounge always really, really love it. So that's just a little something that I do that I'm very passionate about, is pet therapy. I not only do it at the airport, but I also, we've done dementia nursing homes, schools, preschools. So lots of fun stuff, but definitely our favorite place is the airport. So before I introduce you to my coworker, the second part that makes up my therapy team, because it takes two to make a team. Before I get to that, I just want to kind of talk about, why do we do pet therapy in the airport? I get lots of questions, especially while in the terminal working, because everyone's first assumption is, oh, it's for people that are afraid of flying. And I honestly thought that in the beginning. I thought, yeah, so it just kind of calms people down. While that is 100% true, there's so much more to it than that. There are people who travel for business daily. They're away from their families, their friends, and their own pets for weeks, sometimes months at a time, which can be really stressful. They're coming and going from stressful situations. A lot of people are going to visit family that are sick, or just any type of situation, sometimes emergencies. Now, of course, not everyone. A lot of people in the airport are actually going to vacations and things like that. But you have like the stress of flying for some people. You have the stress of where they're going or where they've come from. And so all of that ties into why we have pet therapy at the airport. And I can personally attest that every single person that approaches us in the terminal just goes on and on and on about how much that made their day. So I'm a dog person, and if I saw a dog in the airport, I would definitely be excited, but I don't know that I'd give it a ton of thought. So it's just really beneficial for me to see just how much small gestures can change someone's day. Another thing I'm super passionate about, which ties into all of this, is mental health awareness. And I think that things like pet therapy that increase happy endorphins, all those things are super important. And there are so many things you can do to brighten someone's day. And I think that we all can do something to, even just smiling at someone or holding a door or just asking how they are, is super important and super simple. And I think that's the reason that we don't think about it. So when I think about pet therapy, a lot of people ask me, well, what do they do here? And I say, just what they're doing right now. They're just here for you to pet and relax and just smile, and it makes people happy, and they always reply. It doesn't matter what age of the person or, you know, whatever. They say the same thing every time. Well, it did. This just brightened my whole day. So we love being able to be a pet therapy team. So my team member is right here beside of me. This is Sunday, and she is a certified pet therapy dog. And then my other dog, Church, who you can see is chilling on his bed over there. He actually had just certified and he went on his interview at the airport, because they do have to do an interview. They have to do a test shift to make sure that they're okay with the hustle and bustle and everything that goes on at the airport. He actually got hired at the airport right before all of this happened. And when COVID-19 happened, of course, the airport is a huge traffic area just for being exposed to people. So our program is on hold right now. The employees for this group are not allowed to work right now. We're hoping that changes super soon, because Sunday really misses her job, and Church never even got to start his job. And so we're really excited about getting to start back. But that's just a little background on what we do at the airport, why we do it, and kind of just want to take the opportunity to have you just think about, what is something small that you could do to really boost someone's mood? We never know what someone is going through, and I think everyone battles something. And so we always have an opportunity every day to just make a difference for someone. And this is just a random little thing. But I go to the Starbucks in my town, you know, a couple times a week, and there's a barista there that, you know, usually makes my drinks. I don't see the same ones every time, so I don't see her a lot. But the last time I had probably seen her was back before quarantine and things like that. And I saw her the other day, and she handed me my drink, and she looked up and she noticed that it was me. And mind you, like, we don't know each other. We just see each other occasionally in there. But she looked up at me and she just said, "I'm really happy to see you. Like, I'm so glad that you're doing okay." And I just thought that was so nice. And I'm not particularly, you know, struggling with anything at the moment, but that just totally made my day to have someone who's a stranger genuinely tell me that they're glad I'm having a great day. They're happy to see me. And I think those are just tiny things we just don't think about that can really affect someone's day. So I challenge you to think of something that you can do. It's totally free to smile or say something nice to someone. And I think that random acts of kindness are really important, and that just kind of links into what we do at the airport and in the nursing homes and things like that. So that, again, was just a brief intro to what we do, why we do it. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, well, first of all, you see my uniform here, but I'm going to show you a couple other things that are part of our uniform, and then I'm going to show you some pictures of times and experiences that we've had so far at the airport before quarantine happened. All right, so as you can see, I have taken out the uniform, and we are very confused right now because we're like, are we going to work? Why are you touching my vest? They definitely know when this vest comes out that it's time to go to work. I try to discreetly bring it into my office to show you guys, but they caught on. This is Sunday's uniform. Church gets his uniform when he officially gets to start, after pandemic is kind of under control. They do wear the blue Pet Me vest. They are like any other work uniform. They are not allowed to modify their uniform at all. They can't wear any types of pins or decorations on the vest. They can dress up for special events, but everything has to be underneath the vest. This is their leash sleeve. So on one side it'll say the dog's name, and on the other side it'll say Pet Me. So this is actually Sunday's, and this is Church's. He did get his leash sleeve, but not his vest yet. And then this is just some essentials that the airport supplies us with. So we have a water bowl that can easily fit into a small fanny pack or bag that we can take through security. And then we have a poo bag container that's on a nice little hook, and it has a flashlight with it as well. So really, really helpful. things there. So these are just kind of our essential uniform items. Okay, so now that you've been able to see some of our uniform items, one of our biggest asked questions is, where do the dogs go to the bathroom in the airport? So there are actually a ton of dogs that travel, whether they're service dogs or pets that are traveling. They also have a lot of drug sniffing, bomb sniffing dogs that are police dogs that work in the airport. So several dogs are in the airport at all times. So there are actually outdoor pet relief areas, which is where I take Sunday in church before we even go into the airport. But a lot of passengers especially think it's really, really funny. I guess I'm just used to it, so to me it's not very funny, but the indoor pet relief areas are fake, like AstroTurf grass, and they have like a little fire hydrant. But that is the indoor area because if you are traveling on the plane in between layovers, you can't leave the airport. So there are indoor areas. And a fun fact about that is, a few summers ago, they actually opened a brand new concourse to the airport, and it had all new gates for, more airplanes to be able to be accommodated. And on that concourse, they opened a new indoor pet relief area, which was a really fancy one that you actually go into like behind a closed door, and it has a huge grass area. And we actually got to cut the ribbon and be a part of the ribbon cutting ceremony. Or I'm sorry, I didn't cut the ribbon. We were there for the ceremony when the ribbon was cut, and I was there with Sunday and my mom. That's another fun fact. My mom also does this with me. She is certified with her dog, and we work together. And so we got to attend that, and that was super special to be able to be at the opening. Sunday got her picture made, in the pet relief area for like advertising purposes. And so it was just really awesome that we were included in that. Another most asked question is, how do I do this? How do I get my dog to be a therapy dog? Well, if you're interested in working for the canine crew at the Charlotte airport, they only accept applicants that are certified through the Alliance of Therapy Dogs. There are tons of different therapy certifications you can go through, but if you're interested in our airport, they only accept Alliance of Therapy Dogs, which is what happens to be what Sunday in Church are certified through. So if you're interested in looking into becoming a certified team with your dog, you would go to the Alliance of Therapy Dogs website and put in where you live, and it will actually tell you your closest tester person. So the person in your area that you would essentially meet with, go through the training with, and get tested through and see if your dog passes the test to be a therapy dog. They do several visits at a nursing home. You do like a paper test, you go through lots of things. It's not very difficult because really your dog either has the demeanor to be a therapy dog or they don't. And so it's not really a training, it's a test to see how they react to certain things. So, and I will make another video next week that goes more in depth about what does your dog need to have, what characteristics to be a therapy dog. So we will talk about that next week. But that's our biggest question, is how we even get to do this. A lot of people see us and think that you just go with your dog, but it's definitely not like that. There's a lot of liability that comes with being a handler and having an animal that is doing something in public. Lots of liability, lots of training and things like that. So you definitely have to go through a process for that. And lastly, I just kind of want to talk about my favorite event. The airport does have many events that you would not know about because you're not traveling all the time. But lots of really fun things that I've got to participate in. But the best one was actually last summer, and it was hosted by Delta Airlines. And it was an autism event where Delta actually invited a huge group of people. I don't know if they applied or how they got to be a part of it, but a huge group of families that have children with autism. And they were actually able to go through all of the motions of traveling in an airport, including going to the ticket counter, getting your ticket, going through security, going down to the gate. They even got to get on a plane and go down the runway. They didn't take off, but they got to go down the runway and come back. And the reason for that is because children with autism really need to, a lot of them really need to know ahead of time what's going to happen. And like we talked about with the security at the airport, not anyone can just walk in the airport. You definitely can't get past security. So Delta organized this entire event so that these families and kids could experience the entire thing, so that when these children travel in the future, they are able to know what to expect. So that was a very special event. And as far as my role, my mom and I worked at the gate. So the kids actually came through security, they came down to the concourse, the gate area, and food was provided there for them from a company who sponsored it. And while they were eating and just kind of hanging out and waiting to get on the plane, we had the therapy dogs there to kind of relax them or just give them some enjoyment from them. So the airport is really great about including the canine crew in lots of fun events. And so I was very blessed to be a part of that. So I hope you guys enjoyed just learning a little bit about my experience and what I do and what I'm passionate about. And like I said, I'm going to show you some pictures that you can see, and next week we will talk a little bit more.